Hey guys, in this video we are going to learn how to set up SonarQube using Docker Compose. So why we have to do that? If you look at my previous videos for setting up SonarQube, right? The way we have set up SonarQube is completely manual, right? Because SonarQube comes with two components. One is a UI component and then the backend component, right? So we have to configure basically we have to install Java and then download SonarQube application, right? And then we also need to set up PostgreSQL or any database component, right? So all this thing we have to do manually. Okay, so you can completely eliminate them if you actually use Docker Compose, right? So what is Docker Compose? Docker Compose is kind of a tool which allows you to define and run multiple containers, right? So basically, let's say if we have an application which has a UI component and also service component, right? So what you can do is you can create a Docker Compose file, which is nothing but a YAML file, and then you can define all your configuration over there, and then all you have to do is run the Docker Compose, right? When you run it, it is going to execute all your it's going to it's going to read your Docker Compose file, and then it's going to spin up the containers as we need, right? So if you look at this particular article here, right? So again, this is my website, coachdevops.com. I will be posting the link right below the video as well, right? So guys, if you see, this is the file I'm talking about, Docker Compose YAML file. If you see here, like I mentioned, SonarQube has two components, which is nothing but the database component as well as the UI component, right? So this compose file we are going to use Postgres SQL, right? So basically this is our database component, right, where we are setting up a username and password and schema and whatnot, right? And then of course we also define the volume as well, so that all your data is persisted, right? And then this is your the UI part, right? See guys, so and if you see here, this is the image we are actually using, right? SonarQube 6.7.1. Okay, so that's all, right? So basically what we are doing is we are defining a Docker Compose file, and then we are mentioning all our services inside that file. Okay, and then all we have to do is run this Docker Compose app, right? When you do that, it's going to run your containers, right, whatever we have defined in this YAML file. Okay, awesome. So let's get started. And before that, if you look at our pre-request, we are going to do this on Ubuntu EC2 instance with t2.small, right? At least we need to have 2 GB RAM, and of course we also need to open up port number 9000 as well, which is the default port for SonarQube. Awesome guys, so let's get started. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin up a Ubuntu instance real quick. That should not take much time, right? So let me spin up Ubuntu 18.04. Okay, and then I'm going to go with t2.small, right? Review and launch, and then I'm going to open up port number 9000, which is the default port for SonarQube, right? And then let's open up, let's add this, launch. I'm going to use my existing key. Perfect, right? So right now the instance is being launched. Okay, SonarQube instance is up, so let's connect to it. Fantastic. So I'm actually connected to my SonarQube instance. So what we need is, we just need to install Docker and then Docker Compose. That's all we need, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and then install Docker. Oh, before that, let's actually do an sudo apt-get update, since it is a new EC2 instance. And I will also mention that here as well. Okay, and then let's go ahead and install Docker. Fantastic. Okay, and then you can start installing Docker Compose. Awesome. So Docker Compose is installed, and then we can get started on creating the Docker Compose file. Okay, Docker Compose YAML file, right? Okay, so like I said, this is the Docker Compose file where we are defining everything here, right, including all the services and everything. Okay, and as you can see, this is the username, this is the password, where the UI, the SonarQube UI is going to use in order to connect with the PostgreSQL, right? And this is the schema. And if you see here, this is what we are actually creating, right? This is under PostgreSQL, right? This is the DB, okay? And then these are the volumes. Okay, so let me save this file, and then I'm going to go ahead and then run this Docker Compose command. When you run this command, what this is going to do, this is going to read the Docker Compose YAML file, and then it is going to create the necessary containers, right? So it's going to pull the image and everything, it's going to run the necessary containers. So right now it has finished the job. Let's go ahead and then add Ubuntu user to the Docker group. Okay, so that you can execute Docker commands if at all needed. Okay, and then you can also check the logs as well, right? Docker Compose also has the logs. Let's go ahead and then execute that. So this is going to show us where we are on the container creation. As you can see here, right, it is in the process of spinning up the containers. Wow, as you can see, our SonarQube application is up and running. Okay, so all we have to do is come out of that, and then we should be able to access SonarQube on port number 9000, right? So let me go to here. I'm going to copy the public IP address or public DNS name and go to browser and then mention 9000. Okay, wow. See here, guys. Now the SonarQube is coming up. Then I'm going to access the SonarQube app. Wow, see here. So basically, that's it, guys. That's how you can set up SonarQube using Docker Compose. Thank you for watching.